All right, Coach, we're going to start with Mark McClune with Channel 3, Channel 5, and then we'll have Cameron Cox.
Hey, Monty, congrats on the win. Just kind of your thoughts there down the stretch with the win, and then also seeing an Embiid shot at the end.
I mean, I don't know what to say about that shot. It's just one of those things that could have made for a really long flight, long night, and not a lot of sleep. But I just thought our defense in the second and especially in the third helped us win the game. And, we certainly didn't do as well in the fourth, but I thought we came out in the third with much more urgency on defense. And I know it looks like Joel had an unreal night, but I thought DA made it really tough on him. He's just an unreal player. Some of the shots he made, the finishes around the basket, I mean, you couldn't do much else against that. He's just an MVP type of a player for sure. But I thought everywhere else, outside of Danny knocking down some shots, I thought we were decent tonight defensively. And it was one of those games where when we saw all those guys out, you're just hoping that your team can muster up the same intensity that you would have if they had their full complement of players. It's like human nature to have a bit of a emotional letdown, but I thought we got it back, like I said, in the second quarter as far as our defense was concerned.
Next up is Cameron Cox with 12 News, and then Kellen Olson.
Hey, Monty, what'd you make of Book's performance tonight? Obviously, he struggled a little bit early, but when it was time to make a big shot, he came through.
That's just who he is. He was Thibault was all over him tonight. It was a physical game. And then when we needed him to step up and make plays, he did. That's just who he is. A lot of guys, after having, that kind of game before that moment or those moments, typically don't want the ball. They kind of shy away from it. He didn't do that. That's who he is. He doesn't run from that responsibility of being a closer and knocking down big shots to help the team win.
Next is Kellen Olson with Arizona Sports, and then Dwayne Rankin.
Hey, Monty, I felt like you guys just kept getting key shots from some of the supporting cast like Javon, Cam, Mikal. Can you speak on their impact to kind of keep the game where it was all night?
They work on it, you know what I mean? And our guys were upset with JC when he turned down a few shots. And then he got it going in the corner, and it was awesome, to see our guys rally around him, knocking down those shots. And Mikal and Cam, I mean, that's all three of those guys have worked diligently for those moments. When the ball comes to them, they don't hesitate, except for JC earlier before he started knocking down a few. But I was just proud of those guys, especially with Jay going down, being able to step up and make as many shots as they did and then play the defense that they had to play on the other end.
Next is Dwayne Rankin with the Arizona Republic, and then Gina Mizell.
It kind of leads me into my question. What was going on with Jay? Was it an ankle or something?
Yeah, he tweaked his ankle. That's all I have to say about it right now, but he tweaked it. I can't remember when he did it, but it was in the first half, and then I had to get him out. I think it was in the second quarter, but he told me he rolled it a little bit, but we'll have a better update on it or a better report on it tomorrow.
And just quickly I just wanted to just making sure, did Paul miss the second one on purpose? Because he's a 93% free throw shooter. That's why I'm asking.
No, I don't believe he did. He just missed it.
Okay.
Chris, I think if he was going to miss it on purpose, he would have banged it off the front of the rim.
Next up is Gina Mizell with Suns.com, and then Mark McClune.
Hey, Monty, you mentioned just kind of the human nature that sort of seeps in when you see that Simmons is out, Tobias is out. How do you, as a coach, or even going back to your playing days, how do you try to fight that just in the midst of a game or before a game to sort of bring that same juice, even if a couple guys on the other team are out?
Well, I mean, you're talking to somebody who wasn't in a position to let my guard down at all when I played in the league. So sure. I never had that luxury, but for us as a team, we just try to stick to our standards, and play the way that we're supposed to play, sharing the ball, defending, and competing. We had 30 assists tonight in a game where, it's physical, a lot of intensity, officials, it was one of those games that can wear you out, and we still had 30 assists. So that speaks to our ability to stay with one of our standards, and then, you know, defending. Like I said, in the second and third quarter, I thought we defended at a really high level.
Final question is Mark McClune.
And Monty, on the telecast, they showed a shot of, I think it was Chris's secret stuff. It appeared to be some sort of green potion. I don't know if that's having some fun from Space Jam. Can you tell us what's in the secret stuff? It appeared to be kind of a fun thing the guys were doing on the bench.
I have no idea what the secret stuff is. I don't know. I can't even speak to that. I'm more focused on the game and trying to get the guys set up to, you know, be successful on the floor. I'm not quite sure what's in his bottle.
All right, Cam, first up is going to be Dwayne Rankin with the Arizona Republic.
Thank you. Yeah, Cam, obviously huge game and big game on a lot of levels. Just maybe speak to, you know, hitting shots and being able to be part of it, and a game that came down to one of the craziest finishes I've ever seen.
It's always fun to win. And, you know, I think in the end, we just made enough plays to win. I mean, they really hung around, and they really fought, and they made shots on the stretch. But we stuck with it and pulled out the win. And it's a good win for us.
And secondly, how's the nose?
Good. And how does it look? Looks
good,
pretty
right? Good. Looks pretty good.
I'm fine.
Thanks, Cam.
Next up is going to be Mark McClune with Channel 3, Channel 5, and then Kellen Olson.
Yeah, hey, Cam, nose looks good here too. Hey, you know, Monty talked about, you know, maybe when you saw the injury report, it maybe the natural thing to do was not have the same intensity, and he thought the team kind of found it in the second quarter, and that really, you know, spurred you guys to win. How did you guys kind of find the intensity tonight to plow through in this one?
I think it's just a awareness that we didn't have in the beginning, and then an intentional effort to bring it in that second quarter.
Next up is Kellen Olson with Arizona Sports.
Hey, Cam, when Embiid almost hit that shot, it looked like all you guys were in shock. What was your thought process there as that nearly went in?
He let it go, and that thing was on a line, just headed right towards the hoop. I was like, no, ain't no way. Then it kind of rattled around the rim. You watch the replay of it, it was down. It just had so much velocity that it popped out. But that was a heck of a display of a throw right there, just in general. We were all in shock a little bit, just about how close it was. It was pretty impressive, but I'm glad it didn't go in.
Next up is Gina Mizell with Suns.com.
Hey, Cam, you mentioned the finding the energy in the second quarter, but in the fourth quarter, when you guys kind of created the distance that then held up for the rest of the game, just Javon obviously hit a few big shots, but other than that, maybe what do you feel like were the keys in that last quarter to sort of propel you guys to the win?
Just making plays as often as we can, staying locked into the game plan. And in the end, that's really all you can do is just try to make plays down the stretch. JC hit those big threes, and we just kind of rode that wave, rode that momentum to the end.
All right, final question is Dwayne Rankin with the Arizona Republic.
Hey, Kim, just wanted to just follow up. Wanted to ask about the verdict with George Floyd and just maybe what your reaction was to that.
Obviously happy that justice was served. That's what we want. But at the same time, it's, you know, there's an awareness that you feel that you shouldn't necessarily have to celebrate justice, and not necessarily celebrate, but you shouldn't have to be on the edge of your seat for justice to be served. So obviously everything we do as a country, we gotta keep pushing towards that equality, and we gotta keep pushing towards justice. And that's one smallish step, but I think it definitely brought an awareness to me that it's not necessarily right that we should be on the edge of our seat for justice. So obviously we need to continue to move forward.
All right, Mikal, we're going to get started with Kellen Olson with Arizona Sports.
Hey, Mikal, wanted to ask you about Book. He had his struggles, I guess, if you want to call it that, to start the game and through the first 3 quarters. But then when it was time to end the game, he did it. What's it like to have a guy like that where you're never losing faith in him, no matter how many don't go down, and knowing that he's gonna be there in the moments that matter?
This shows how he's a big time player. Struggled a little bit, but stayed with it and came out in the fourth and hit big time shots. So, big time player. That's what he does. Wasn't nothing we think he couldn't do and wasn't capable of. It don't matter if he's 0 for 20. I still believe his next shots are going to go in. So I'm just happy he stayed with it and stayed aggressive and hit the big shots.
The TV broadcast caught you looking back at Embiid after it nearly went in, and you were looking at him like, man, what was in your headspace during that moment when you nearly made that?
Bro, he almost made that. I told him after he hit the 3, I was like, you just got to make that shot. Why can't the game just end? Like, you have to hit that. That's the first 3. I'm like, you just got to hit that. He's just really talented, man. He's just unbelievable player. But that's crazy. If he would have made that, I don't know how I would react. That was crazy.
Next up is Gina Mizell with Suns.com, and then Dwayne Rankin.
Hey, Mikal, you're becoming such a weapon in transition and in the open floor with the way you can finish. But I'm just curious, how have you learned how to use your body control in the right way, as far as maneuvering around defenders, making sure you don't plow through them, that you're able to finish at the rim? Just kind of how have you learned how to sort of perfect or refine like that specific part of your game?
I don't know. I always had it as a kid, just and growing up, just playing basketball, just trying to not run nobody over. I don't know, but it's also a credit to strength conditioning. Corey, just getting your body right and doing all those maneuvers and stuff that we randomly do when we lift and stuff, and not thinking that you're going to use it in a game, but he knows you will. So it's a credit to him for sure. Shut your ass up, bro.
All right, Mikal, final question is Dwayne Rankin with the Arizona Republic.
Yeah, Mikal, two-parter. One, did you get a chance to see any family at all while you were there? And then 2, we've talked about Chris all season, but what was it like once again seeing him have the kind of night he had?
No, I didn't see no family. I saw him after the game just a little bit when I was walking off the court. But see, I don't know. I don't like him. I don't like him that much, so I'm not gonna gas him up. No, I'm playing, but that's C, man. That's our leader. That's what he does. He just makes big time shots, and throughout the whole game he was hooping. And that's what he does. That's Chris Paul. That's who he is.
All right, Chris, first up is going to be Kellen Olson with Arizona Sports.
Hey, Chris, wanted to get some clarification on the last free throw. You were trying to make that, right?
Absolutely.
What was you and Mikal both looked back at him, Joel, like you were in shock that he almost made that. What was going through your head?
I was. If you have 3, I always want to make a free throw to go at 4. I didn't miss it on purpose, and then that shot, like, that was in and out. I ain't never seen nothing like it.
Next up is Mark McClune with Channel 3, Channel 5.
Hey, Chris, when you have a long East Coast road trip like this, how do you get the body right game to game, for instance, from Milwaukee to tonight? And then I'm wondering, they showed the secret stuff again on the bench, Chris Paul's secret stuff during the game on the telecast. I'm wondering if you could tell us the story behind the secret stuff.
How you get your body right? We got a great training staff, our team, you know what I mean? It's work. It's actually funny during warm-ups today. I kept telling one of our trainers, Adam, I was like, "Ooh, I gotta find it." And then once the game gets going, you tend to just find it. The secret stuff is just my drink that I drink during the game. Earlier in the season, me and Adam that works with our team, I told him, what my chef usually puts in my drink, and he started writing that on the water bottle or on my bottle during the games, and somebody just picked it up recently. It's been there all season long.
Next up is Gerald Brigay with Fansided.
Hey, Chris. Tough shooting night for Book for most of the night. Matisse Thybulle did a good job on him defensively, but then down the stretch, 8 points, and he hits a couple of big shots for you guys. even when you have a good defender on him like that, is there ever a moment where the faith kind of wavers, or is it just that is exactly what you expect him to do?
That's winning basketball. You know, when you play on a team like this where you expect to win night in and night out, it's gonna be nights like that. And that's why you gotta trust and lean on your teammates. And then, you know, when you get your opportunity, you know, that's why, you know, Book is who he is. You know, he made the timely shots. He still wants it. And, you know, I think that's says a lot about our team all season long. You know, Javon Carter hit, you know, 3 big threes, you know, and they're just timely. And we say it all the time. We truly have a team. We're not just leaning on one guy or 2 guys to do things every night.
And just to follow up, you know, DeAndre Ayton had a physical matchup with Joel Embiid. He got his points, obviously, but what do you think of the job that you guys did on Embiid defensively?
Man, Joe is tough. He's so tough because he can score in every way possible, man. You don't see too many big men dribbling between their legs, doing step backs. You know, he can score on the block, the 3, free throw line. So we knew that it was going to take a team effort to slow him down. And DA just did a great job of competing, trying to make it tough on him. So it's all growth for us and same for DA.
Final question is Dwayne Rankin with the Arizona Republic.
Yeah, Chris, obviously the verdict yesterday with the George Floyd, I just wanted to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, it was a tough day, I think, for everybody. You know, I think the biggest thing that we all saw that is accountability. And I think the toughest part for us all is that, you know, there was still a life lost. And I don't know. You know, everybody thinks, you know, because of the verdict, everything is right in the world, but it's not. It's not. There's still a lot of things going on that are unjust, you know, and I send my prayers, wishes out to Mikal Bryant and her family. You know, you think you're getting through one thing and then another thing occurs. So, yeah, it's just a show of accountability and something that I think we all want to see consistent.